welcome to the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul, and across from me is my brother from a Portuguese mother.
Hey, that's true.
It is true.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnny Sanchez.
Yeah. Epa.
Whatever,
Azazus.
Could you not do that? All right.
Makarai. What's up? Oh, who's
See
that?
the shit I got to put up with?
Yeah.
What up, T? What up, everybody? Hey, so what's up, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
So I want to talk about the show, the Ruby Tuesdays from last night, but when it airs, it'll be from last week. It was a great show, man.
Oh, okay. Good.
You didn't come by?
No, I was dog sitting.
Dog sitting?
Well, I was just helping out some friends.
I don't know if I would.
What is that? That's called dog sitting.
Yeah, you're helping out some friends. Who are you helping out?
Whisper out to Ryan Dalton.
Could you stop with the
Whisper
Oh,
no, it's catching on, mofo.
No, whisper
it's
out is
catching
not catching
on.
No one says whisper out. It's almost disrespectful to the culture. For you to
don't
try
even
to,
start.
Hey,
and by the way, I found out where
shout out.
Shout out goes back to about the credit.
But
you know who they credit?
Who do they credit?
You know which rapper gets the credit?
Who?
Tupac Shaker.
This motherfucker.
So
Tupac
in
Shaker.
90 or 91, Tupac Shaker used it in one of his songs, and that's where shout out started.
That's where shout out started. Whatever. Tupac Shaker.
But either way, I'm doing whisper out because I feel like
first of
there
all,
should be
you
something
know,
different.
Tupac did not start shout out.
That's what it says.
You Googled it?
Yeah, I told you I was going to research it, remember?
Whitepeopleresearch.com, is that where you went to hey, who started the shout outs?
No, I went to Slickopedia. It's all black information. Real slick.
Are you kidding me? Or are you serious?
I'm serious. You can find all like black urban anything.
Slickopedia?
Yeah, Slickopedia. It's a brother that runs it.
Slickopedia.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as Slickopedia, man. You're an asshole.
Man, I had this motherfucker going straight up, motherfucker.
So keep your cranium vertical.
Yeah, I was about to tell you.
What?
I don't know what that means.
What does keep?
Oh, it's sideways then.
No, it's
What?
It's not sideways.
Oh. Is it horizontal?
Yeah.
They must be seeing it horizontally. Maybe it's however you started it.
Yeah, you started up this way. I don't know what he means if he wants to go the other way. But
What do you mean by Chris joined in?
Cranium.
Keep your cranium vertical is fucking hilarious. I don't even know what that means.
Dude, I just like.
okay, I get it.
Big Sal Booski. What is it? What?
He just said keep your head up. Instead of keep your head up, keep your cranium vertical.
Oh, just keep my head up?
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause my
see,
head is
I
going-
told you, you're always
this-
slinking. You're slouching down. You start slouching. Thank you. I keep telling you, we start the
It has nothing to
podcast.
do with me slouching.
Well, yeah, because your head's going
Anyway,
down.
Can we?
What was
Can we just
his
talk
name?
about-
What was his name?
His name is Big Sal Booski.
That's what I'm talking about. Thanks, Big Sal. Whisper out.
Oh well, Chris, since you're on, you can relay some of these questions.
Yes.
Okay, whisper out, Big Sal.
Yeah. So I'll be checking out, making sure if I see anything
On
interesting.
Ruben Paul Sloucher. I've been saying this for weeks, and he keeps.
So, what's your point?
Well,
What's
because
your point?
you anytime I would bring that up, you go, whatever, this motherfucker, right?
I don't even respond to it when you say.
Because I was like, hey, dude, you keep
Are
slouching
we really
down.
talking about this on the podcast?
Here's why.
You know why? Because you're 5'4" and you have
5'5", and
I don't know. I mean,
with shoes on 5'5".
okay, with shoes on 5'5". Okay,
And
I
I'm always
believe
with
that.
shoes on. I don't walk around barefoot. You know, I'm not Mowgli. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know who Mowgli is. But anyway, I just thank you, Big Sal, because you proved my point. That's all I got to say.
Oh, Sal. What up, Sal? DJ Cruise Control.
Oh, that's Sal Cruz Jr., bro.
Hey, man.
Why am I yelling?
Yeah, why? That's why you should be giving shout outs. See, it's natural.
Whisper out.
No,
Whisper out.
You
Sal.
got too excited and you gave a shout out. None of that whisper out.
Whisper out, Sal. Thanks,
What
Sal.
up, Luch? Luch is like, I'm hungry.
Who's Luch?
Luch,
Lucha Libre?
No, from Kids in the Hall. He was a writer on Kids in the Hall. Very talented.
Oh, well,
writer,
then why are we
comedian.
not doing sketches with him? Why is we not writing
he's
with
in
him?
Vegas printing money. That's what he's doing.
Oh, I guess that's a little bit better
Yeah,
than
well-
working with 2 comics on a sketch show idea.
No, but Luch is very talented.
Yeah,
very
what is
talented.
that?
And
Is
his
he
wife
Italian or
is really
something?
funny.
Luch?
Yeah, he's Italian.
Is
If-
Italian?
If you saw him, he's straight out of The Sopranos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Luch. He's a
Yeah,
good
Luch.
guy.
Hey, get out of here with
And he's
that.
just telling me, do I want a Cobb salad or chicken? Somebody just said, you guys are really funny in Long Beach. I want to come check out Ruby Tuesdays. You definitely have to come out to Ruby Tuesdays. It's a great show. We had Ida Rodriguez.
Ida, yeah.
She was great. Fortune Feemster, really funny.
Oh, she's hilarious.
She's hilarious. She was
She's
everybody's,
so strong.
Everybody on the show is hilarious. I'm
Dom,
really
the
proud of show.
legendary Dom Herrera.
Dom Herrera was so good last night, and
Yeah.
he talked about his Bell palsy.
Palsy. Yeah.
And just to be on stage
With his face a
with
little,
his face like that,
you
and
know.
to address it.
Just so for people who don't know, Bell palsy is a
When your-
condition.
was the condition when part of your face goes into paralysis.
Correct.
Yeah.
It looks like a stroke, someone that had
Yeah.
was a stroke victim or something, but
Yeah.
it's not that, and it's not as serious. But still, it's an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it
absolutely.
can hit people of all ages, by the way. So
But to me, what I loved about Dom, because a lot of you guys know Dom Herrera. He's been doing comedy for a long time, and just to see him that vulnerable
right.
on stage, for as long as he's been doing it, and to address the elephant in the room, and he goes, "My face is what he I think his opening line was, my face is paralyzed on one side. I have this Bell palsy thing. So if you want to see me smile, everybody needs to move to this side of the room."
Oh, that's funny.
It was really funny.
No, dude.
And people get awkward.
Yeah, whenever you have to look at
has some
somebody,
type of thing.
yeah.
Remember when we first started? I don't know if you remember Shirley Hemphill.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
she used to, for you guys don't know, she used to be on What's Happening back in the day. What was her character on that? Was she Shirley?
I think she played Shirley, didn't she?
But anyway, did she have MS or she had some condition?
Yeah, she or Parkinson's. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It
she
was
had some condition, and she used to come on stage with a walker. And I remember when we used to introduce her, and she used to come on stage, and people used to have to help her on stage. It was kind of this uneasiness in the room.
Of course.
It's like when I saw Pryor live.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't see Richard Pryor perform live until he was, in a wheelchair, and I remember being at the store.
Yeah, I used to see him at the store.
And
yeah.
watching him go up. And he used to, I idolized Richard Pryor.
Yeah, sure.
So to see him,
And be helped up there. Yeah.
it was hard to watch.
Oh, it was
for me.
so difficult, dude.
Because I wanted my memory
I know.
of Richard Pryor from Which Way Is Up and,
Yeah.
Stir Crazy and, all these other
Yeah,
movies
Sunset
and
Strip
The Wash.
and
You know what I mean? He was just
The
always
Toy.
so active and had so much swag and just his stand up. I mean, I can go on and on about Richard Pryor, but to just see him on stage and, you can barely hear him, but his mind was still.
The mind was
still
there,
sharp.
but the brain's there. It's just everything else moving, and I mean, when you told me about Dom going up, and my
Dom is so funny,
and
man.
go on stage like that, I was like, I even thought to myself, that's definitely Bell ballsy. You know what I mean? Bell ballsy. And thanks, Chris, over there. Now you got
see what
him
I gotta
moaning
put up
and
with?
now he got him moaning and groaning. And what would have been cool if Shirley they were like, "Hey man, she comes up with a walker," and then they announced her name and it was Jimmy Walker helping her up. How great would that have been?
Shout out David Liu, buddy of mine.
From Sacramento.
Yeah, from up north. He's out of Fairfield.
Yep, Fairfield,
But
where my
speaking
grandmother
of,
was born.
It's funny that he chimes in because whenever he's dealing with cancer, and me and him have had conversations, and he talks about it. I don't know the last time Lou has been on, but even when you go on stage and you talk about a topic or you have some type of ailment, like we said, Dom with the Bell palsy, which he's going to recover from. People recover from it.
Yeah, of course.
People going on stage in wheelchairs. And what's the funny comic with the one arm? You know her.
Oh, her. Oh, yeah.
Starts with a D.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name off
Isn't
the
it
top of my
D? Does she go by D? No.
No, but her initials D. I can't remember
Yeah.
her full name.
Oh,
But
I
just
forget her
just,
name.
just the
I know.
boldness of to go
Yeah.
on stage. But for somebody like Dave or anybody else to go on stage and talk about cancer, it's like it sucks the air out of the room, and the ability to go on stage and still make that funny and tell your story and to be like, that's real skill. And I think more people can relate because so many of us are affected by cancer,
especially cancer,
something like that. So I always like in the darkest stuff that we deal with in life, to be able to go on stage and make people laugh at it or connect to it in a certain way to kind of let them know that because the chances of somebody in our audience having cancer
or a family member, a close friend
is probably 100%.
Yeah.
You know, there's someone in the audience who either has it or close to somebody who does.
Correct. Or have lost
but
numerous
we stay away
people.
from that. Like, even if we talk about death on stage, I know, because, you know, I've dealt with a lot of it. So if I'm on stage and I talk about death, the room automatically
tightens up.
Yeah, tightens up. You know, so I think what I want to do going forward is to be able to really dig down deeper and really start attacking that and give perspective, because I have been helpful to friends who have dealt with it just on a one-on-one on telephone, because people know of what I've been through. So to me, I think the next step or evolution for me would be to go on stage, because there are funny things in horrific things that happen. Like, my father's funeral was horrible and hilarious. You know, I told you a story like when they passed him around like a joint. Like, I had never seen that at a funeral where a casket is on wheels and they're like there's like, dude, like a buffet, like they're swinging and dude, I remember
is that because of the Haitian?
Me and my sister were totally clueless, because, you know, we had more than one funeral for my dad.
Oh, I see. Okay.
We had a funeral for him in Miami, because that's where he was when my parents had moved there. That's where they were living.
Yeah.
And then my mom was still in the hospital at the time, and we were like on the fence of whether we should have a funeral without her being there, like we're burying her husband without her. But we discussed it with the doctors, and we just didn't know when my mom would be able to leave the hospital. She ended up obviously not leaving the hospital, but I just remember at the funeral, my aunt, rest in peace, who had met for the first time there, dude, like lost it, like screaming to the top of her lungs. And I'm looking at my sister like, does she love Daddy more than us? Like, we're still kind of in control. But dude, when they came down and the pallbearers, not the pallbearers, but whoever worked for the funeral, like, was moving the casket on wheels, I remember going, what the fuck?
What is
this? And do not swing. I do not want him served to me. Like, I don't want him.
Yeah, don't pass him.
Don't
pass
him
him
to
this
me,
way,
man. Don't pass him to me.
Yeah.
I mean, my sister kind of laughed about that during the funeral, and it's just all kind of stuff and emotions that you go through during that time, and you just got to find the funny in it, because people are dealing with it. You just buried your brother-in-law,
right?
You know?
I know.
And funerals are so heavy. So anyway, death is something we all have to deal with. I want to.
And people do get tight. But you know, there's a difference though. When I always and not only do I cringe, but the audience will cringe. There's certain comics, and maybe it's because they've never been affected by it, but they throw the word.
I'm setting up for you, motherfucker.
Hey, told you, motherfucker. Shit.
Whatever, Nick.
You got good posture. Anyway,
why you gotta say it like that?
That's my own character, dude. It has nothing to do with anything.
No, that's
my white guy.
Loosely based on a black guy.
No, it's loosely based
do
on
it again.
a white dude.
Do it again. What'd you say about my posture?
You had some. I like your posture. What's wrong with that?
What white guys do you know?
From you ever talk to a white dude from Oakland? Good night. Should I drop the mic now, or would I wait till after we're done?
What are you, G-Eazy now all of a sudden?
Anyway.
You don't even know who G-Eazy is. Johnny doesn't know who G-Eazy is. He's a white rapper from the Bay.
Anyway.
And David Liu just said something very interesting. He said, if you don't laugh, you don't heal. And I actually told him that. That's one of my phrases that I coined.
Well, that's
but there is some truth in that.
You didn't have to throw that out in there right there. That's between the two of you.
But he just said it in this
Yeah,
live.
but he didn't say, "Hey, Rube, I remember what you told me."
Russell Peters just joined. So we have to put
Wait,
you
so
on.
he's on the podcast now.
No, he's not officially on
He's
the podcast.
finally on the podcast.
Say hello to Russell. He probably he probably tapped out already.
Probably did. I think he took off.
Russell's probably, oh shit, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, no, he's on. Put it on speaker.
He can't. Dude,
Oh,
Johnny, you are fucking so. Say hello to Russell, man.
I said hello, man. What's up, man? My Indian brother. My Indian.
You're not
brother.
even Indian, motherfucker.
No, I'm Indian looking.
He said, hola, Johnny.
Oh,
Russell, I don't know if you
gotta
know
say,
this.
Tell him say Epa. It's Epa now.
No.
It's Epa in Portuguese.
Johnny is officially Portuguese. He found out he did Ancestry.com.
I did Ancestry.
You couldn't spend the extra money and do the other one?
What do you mean?
He got offended. Look at him. I'm just playing with you. Isn't there another one that
There's
you
like there's a dozen of them.
Boy,
Does
look
it
at his
make
face.
it-
Look at Johnny
No,
gets
because-
here. I'm just fucking with
Because
you.
I actually research stuff.
Tell Russell he doesn't know. What
Yeah,
happened?
so I found out I'm more Portuguese than Mexican. I'm 38% Portuguese and 33% Mexican, and then 21% Spanish. Thank you, and 2% Congolese from the Congo, motherfucker.
Everybody's from Africa.
So I get to say pastia, motherfucker.
He just put an Indian emoji. He said either way he's Indian.
So Portuguese and Mexican makes an Indian.
Yeah,
basically.
But Russell was at the store last night. He ripped it up there.
Nice. Good to see him, man.
Yeah, but it was a good night.
I'm
We had,
glad he,
Ian Edwards was mad funny last night. Fortune Feimster was hilarious.
Oh, Ian Edwards did it too?
Yeah, Ian.
Oh, okay.
Ian was funny. Everybody was funny.
What about-
Tone Bell? But Dom, Dom for obvious reason because we look up to him. He's a legend. I just thought he was brave.
Yeah.
And funny, and it was good to see him on stage.
Here was my point earlier that there are comics. The only time I cringe when I hear cancer and a comic's on stage talking about it is when they're using it as a joke. So
Okay.
I don't know if these are comics who have never been affected. Maybe they just don't know. They don't have any friends or family that have been affected by cancer. But I cringe. Now the audience will cringe because certain like a line like some comics will use lines like maybe they're talking about a relationship. Oh, you dumped me or whatever. You know what? Hope you get cancer and die. Like shit like that. I don't personally find that funny, but maybe that's because it's been. But when somebody who's been through it or their family member's been through it and they talk about it on stage, to me, that I don't have a problem with that at all, and they're able to make it funny.
Do you know
throwing out that for a joke for the laugh for me, it always makes me.
Are there
cringe.
any comics that you can think of that have talked about cancer on stage, like have dealt with it? Do we know any comics we know comics who have passed from cancer, but it's almost like people keep it a secret, And then you find out like, yo, whatever.
Well,
oh man, dude, he has cancer, man. But like,
there's that
to
one,
never talk about it on
there's
stage.
that one comic, Steve Mazon's been talking about it for years.
That's right.
He's been
Didn't he do
Ma-
something about him dying and people were giving him shit about that?
No, all I know is he was doing a documentary. This thing, My Road to Letterman.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get on Letterman. What?
It was actually dying to do Letterman.
Dying to do Letterman. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's testicular with him, right? Isn't it?
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Comics
we're on social media
Yeah,
together.
comics are fucked up. It's like the one comic, he got an HBO special who had cancer. Quincy. I've never met him. I don't know him. But it's just, we're so fucked up sometimes. It's just amazing how people are like, oh man, dude has cancer, man. He has a certain amount of time. Like, I don't know the story. I'm just going by
what you were hearing.
What you're hearing from different comics.
Yeah, sure.
And then he does the HBO special. Like, man, he only got the HBO special, because he had cancer. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? Like,
he's
dealing with.
He's still dealing
with
with
the
it.
attitude of he
Yeah.
does the specials like a year later, like, this motherfucker's still alive? I thought he was dying.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
But it could have gone into remission. It
Hey,
could go
man,
into remission.
That's
dude.
how competitive fucking comics are. It's like, how this motherfucker get a special and I didn't get a special? How he
Yeah.
get on HBO
But
and I didn't get on
But it would have been
HBO?
funny if he would have followed it up the next special with
I'm healed.
I'm healed, or
Yo, we got to do a special about me getting healed.
yeah, or cancer, sir. Russell loves puns.
Russell is probably checked out already.
Yeah, I think
Russell isn't going to come on, man. Russell's busy. He ain't going to spend an hour on this live.
Russell's heading to jiu-jitsu class right now. Okay,
Let me tell you
fine.
about Russell and his jiu-jitsu, dude. Like, I love him. He's my boy. But this motherfucker will practice the most painful moves. He's like, yo, come here for a second. Let me show you a move.
Oh, on you.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're not showing me a move. You're hurting me right now. But he's really good.
Oh.
He's really good.
Oh, he's been doing it a while.
Yeah.
I didn't know
he's
that.
really good. And
so
he
he's
has
kind of
great
moved from the boxing to the jiu-jitsu a little more.
Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's made friends with a lot of the best jiu-jitsu fighters, instructors in the world. So, and we've all saw what happened in New York when he stopped that dude who tried to rob that jewelry store.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember
so,
that. Yeah.
But anyway, talking about elements and everything, but so I don't want to leave anybody out. Tone Bell was funny on the show last night. It was a good night. Dom, Fortune Feemster, Ida, Ian, and Tone Bell.
And Tone Bell.
Yeah, it was
That's
a good
great.
show, man.
That's
It was
a great
funny. It was
lineup.
good energy. It was a good night.
And you had two women on the show instead of
two
just
women.
one.
Yeah.
Which is,
But I put women on the show.
Yeah, no, I
You
know.
A lot of comics don't
Oh,
put
shoot.
women
I just realized
on the
we
show.
didn't put these on.
Do we need the headphones?
Hilarious.
I mean, that really shows that we don't. Like, I really don't need to hear your voice in stereo. I don't, Johnny.
Are you mic'd over there? Is Chris
Yeah,
mic'd?
Chris is not. Chris, if you're gonna laugh,
If you're gonna laugh, we want to hear
I'm
it.
killing. I want people to know that I'm fucking.
I am mic'd, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I don't. Anyway, you just cut me off with the whole point.
No, anyway, my main point was I do get a little uncomfortable and I cringe when cancer is used just as a throwaway line.
Yeah.
It's just something that, because I've had so many family members already affected by that, so and friends.
Yeah.
That it's one of those things, dude. You kind of go, comics can talk about anything. They can talk about whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But for me, I have a hard time with it, man.
That's fair.
And I kind of check out sometimes on comics who use that as just a line to throw away, and I kind of go, I'm not going to listen anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, you'll tune out.
I kind of tune out after that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. So, but on a lighter note, it was fun. It was a fun night, and we have another great show next week, or when this airs tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody's just trying to call me.
Oh, that's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
put them on.
We can't.
I mean, why not?
we
Yeah,
can't.
you
put
put them on
on
speakerphone.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be on the live. Johnny, do you know?
Yeah,
how
I get
this
that.
works?
But you know what? Maybe we're innovative, dude. We're doing new things.
Mm-hmm.
This is called live and on live.
David Lou said, "Let me get that cancer special."
Oh.
Beezy.
Oh, that's well. Why?
Oh,
if
they
he's
asked me, do I
talking
want to
about,
do a Sunday spot? I can't do a Sunday spot. Just got a text message. I'm sorry.
you're not going to do why? Because of football?
No.
You know it's because of football. My
Oh,
man.
that's right. Football does start.
It
this weekend.
starts. You were right, by the way. They did get almost a week off. All the
Okay.
games were on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah. I see what you meant.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
talking about what, and then I said I thought you meant they were. I didn't realize they were finishing up the fourth game on preseason game on a Thursday.
So, what's your favorite time of the year, sports wise? Is it football?
oh yeah, football.
You're not big into basketball, huh?
I get into it later on towards when they start getting close to the playoffs.
You're one of them.
Yeah, I can't watch and baseball. Forget it. I'm not watching 475 games.
Russell hates team sports, by the way, which is hilarious.
What's he like? Tennis and ping
No,
pong?
he's all fighting.
I see.
He's boxing.
No,
he's MMA.
not even track and field. Watching track and field.
We've never discussed track and field, but he's from Canada. What have they ever done in track and field?
Well, they
to
had-
give him pride.
they had
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, but he was fucking.
Oh yeah, that's right.
he was injected.
He was injecting it as Johnson.
Ugh. Thank you, Chris. Say that line again.
Ben Johnson was injecting in his Johnson. Thank you.
Anyway,
What do you know, Chris? All of a sudden we
Chris-
go live and Chris is all of a sudden moaning and groaning.
So for me, I don't know. I love basketball. There's something about the frequency of the games,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
it's just so much. It's really star driven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, football is my favorite sport, but I love basketball season.
I almost feel like I've grown to enjoy. I enjoy college football now more than I enjoy pro football because it is so unpredictable. The score could be 42-10, 42-3 going into the fourth quarter, and dude, they somehow in college they can just do a complete 180, and they're scoring like crazy. It's it's bonkers, dude.
I used to feel like that, but college is set up in such a way where, especially there's a big disparity between high school and college talent level, and then college in the NFL. So when you get to college, especially in football, and I've experienced this firsthand.
Oh yeah, El Camino Carrillo.
Whatever, man.
El Camino Carrillo.
Can I finish
college?
my thought?
I want to make sure that
So-
Sal knows what we're talking about.
But when you have the best athletes, that's why a lot of college quarterbacks who can run, like those running quarterbacks, like a lot of teams are getting them.
Yeah.
Because if you're just, you can be that much bigger, stronger, faster than everybody else. But when you get to the NFL,
Of course.
it's like that defensive end is just as fast as the quarterback.
And he's way bigger than
So
him.
that's why like a lot of people criticize coach like, man, how come he doesn't teach that dude how to pass and set him up for a good pro career and
Sure.
let him learn how to run a pro style. But the coach is probably going,
We want
he
a
runs a
champ-
4-3
Yeah.
and no one on the other side can catch him.
And we
Let's
won a
just run-
championship.
And let's just run the ball, man.
We
Let's
wanna
just-
win a bowl game.
We're just trying to win games in college, not necessarily.
But I'm just coming. I'm coming over at just an excitement.
But the
excitement
point I
aspect.
wanted to get to,
Oh.
I kind of got off of it, is in college, like a team like Alabama and certain teams are always going to have a chance to challenge because they're always going to get the best athletes.
Sure, if there's a
You know what I mean? And their games are predictable, until they get to a team. Like, it's very rare a team like Alabama is going to get upset by, Weber State or something like
but
that.
sometimes
you know?
it gets real close too.
Yeah, but if it's real close, it's going to be close in terms of
I
playing
mean,
UCLA.
look
What
at-
could be a competitive game, even though they're.
What
gonna
was the
win
team
That game.
that just opening college weekend at the big upset? You know when they pay those teams?
What up?
When they pay those teams to play, it was Tennessee, right? They got upset by, Tulare Atlantic. Who was that team that beat Tennessee? The Vols.
Yeah,
and
those games. Yeah, when the middle of the road teams playing,
they were getting
the lower
paid.
Teams.
That school was making money to play them. So
all the teams make money.
Oh, all of them in college.
dude, that's why, dude. I remember.
I didn't realize
I remember
all the
Long
time.
Beach State. After when I was at Long Beach State, we played Miami, and it was just for a check. That's the
Right.
problem with some of these games, like Alabama and all these big schools, Michigan's. They'll play all these smaller schools, and the reason why the smaller schools take the game is for money.
Yeah, but how often? That's not every week. It's not like that though.
Oh
right?
yeah, it is.
So even when they're in their own
There's
conference,
always revenue to be shared. So they're always sharing revenue in college.
I see.
When they're playing.
Okay.
So a smaller team to go play this powerhouse, they're doing it strictly for the check.
but let's forget that. I got now
Okay.
when it's Auburn and Alabama.
Oh yeah, it's
still
huge money game.
that's even bigger than
yeah, but the difference is they don't need this game to build a library on campus.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where this other school's like, yo, man, let's send these kids out here to get their ass whooped so we can.
and then they end up winning, which is what happened this week.
Yeah.
every now and then it happens.
Remember Michigan got upset
Yes,
that year?
I do.
With that team with the
That's
black
what
quarterback?
Yeah.
Man, and they
Well,
were,
I don't remember. I mean, I don't,
I-
specifically look for people's ethnicities when they're playing, but
really?
yeah,
You don't look
really.
You don't look for people's ethnicities when they're playing?
No, I just look at them as all players, man.
Oh, really? Even when you watch basketball?
They're all players.
Even when you watch basketball?
all players under God's dome. Oh, thanks, Chris. Finally. Anyway, all right.
How do we get on sports?
David Liu says Boise State has a chance because they have that blue turf.
Oh yeah, Boise State. I remember when Boise
Yeah,
State.
that blue turf is it shouldn't even be
upset-
allowed in a weird
Remember
way.
Boise State upset
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that big
yeah.
game that year, and ended up winning on trick plays. They
But
ran 2 trick
yeah,
plays. They
that,
ran
that blue turf is weird, man. Like it seems like it would be so distracting to play on that thing.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like turf in general, like that field turf. But
Yeah.
but whatever. So I started watching Mindhunters
Oh, you did. So from season 1.
from season 1. Yeah, I didn't do like you. I
I had watched the first couple of episodes of season 1, and then
You jumped to season 2.
I wanted to see what they were doing at that point, and
Why wouldn't you just follow along in chronological
Because, man,
order, man?
well,
like
I
you
kn-
don't have the patience to do that.
No, I normally don't do that, but I was reading. I was looking at the when it starts showing the
Synopsis?
the trailer
Yeah.
for it, and I was like, oh, so now they're at this place, and then I was like, I gotta watch. I just want to see where they are and what they're doing, and then I was like, ooh, I gotta go back because it's
So
great.
you love documentaries. We both love documentaries.
Yeah, of course.
What,
I'll choose a
um,
documentary first over
over
a series and a movie, and
So what's some of your favorite documentaries?
Well, I like any of the documentaries on serial killers. The last one on Ted Bundy was fantastic. The Ted Bundy tapes.
Okay.
The Central Park 5 was one a few years in the last few years that I thought was amazing. Although that new series, when they see us, I normally don't watch a storyline or a story that's a true story that has already been in a documentary. But I decided to watch that one, and it's fantastic. I think I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in right now because the acting is unbelievable.
And what
It's
is
so
this?
good. When they see us.
Oh,
It's
that's
the
great. Oh,
it's
when they
story.
see-
Yeah, it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
story.
Oh, I'm
of-
proud of you, man.
Yeah, because normally it's just
Normally you wouldn't watch things that concerned our community.
Oh, that's not even it.
Normally you wouldn't watch things
No,
that.
that's
So the fact that
I watched the Central Park 5. I told you the documentary, but what I'm saying is normally if
Central Park 5
what-
documentary is
was
outstanding.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But once
Spike Lee did that, right?
Once I see a I can't remember, but once I see a documentary and then something's made into a movie or a series like that. And it's gonna involve actors and writing and people adding their own. I normally don't jump on those, but with this one, I was like, I'll just, you know how I am, man. I give everything and everybody 15. Okay, I'll watch something for 15 minutes, and it's fantastic. It's good, and that documentary is amazing.
Yeah, well, I've seen them, and
All right, put it back to you, man.
when they see us, when they see us, that shit doesn't upset you, man. It should upset
it's oh my god, dude!
anybody
It's the
who's not
hardest thing.
racist.
First of all, it's the hardest. The documentary was one of the hardest things to watch because
yeah,
they're
that
showing the real
documentary.
clips
Exactly.
of what
Yeah, it
they're
was
doing
rough,
to these
man.
kids, dude.
Yeah, they railroaded.
And
those
then
kids,
remember
man.
How to Make a Murderer. I like documentaries like those. Those grab me, man.
I like those, but I love documentaries about bands I knew nothing about.
Correct.
Like watching the AC/DC documentary, watching the Eagles.
The Eagles was fantastic.
Eagles was great, and this is music that I'm familiar with the music, but I
But
don't
it wasn't
really-
like you were.
wasn't my genre.
And then
but I knew about the bands, but to hear these stories and
Yeah.
to kind of see. And what's funny is what was the one when
I think we both said
Queen
Chicago,
Chicago,
dude.
yeah.
Anybody, you guys get a chance, watch the documentary about Chicago because I don't want to give away too much, but I didn't realize a lot of I knew them from listening to their music as a kid, and then in the in the 80s they got back on it with Peter Cetera's hits with his the ballads and all that stuff. But their documentary is fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
that one's good.
And it surprised me with stuff. I didn't realize how long they'd been together and some other stuff anyway, it's worth watching.
Which one was the one?
I don't think there was a Queen.
No, it wasn't Queen. Was it Motley Crue? No, not Motley Crue.
Although I'd love to see a Motley Crue
It wasn't
documentary.
Motley Crue. It
And I
wasn't
want to
Motley
see a
Crue.
Van Halen. After I read their book, I want to see a Van
It
Halen.
wasn't Van Halen. What was the documentary with they all went to this house. They had rented this house to record, and
That sounds like the Beatles. Didn't they
no,
do that?
it wasn't the Beatles.
Stones.
What? 30 Seconds to Mars? No, it wasn't them. It
No,
was a
was
really
it?
popular band, and when their I'm gonna name every band. Their lead singer he was addicted to drugs, and he would be arguing with the other bandmates. And they
Oh, you
finally-
mean every band from the
I
80s?
know. I'm describing every band
Behind
from
the Music. Just watch Behind the
It was
Music.
really
I think
good.
that's called
Oh,
VH1's Behind the Music.
Not. It starts with the M.
Metallica. Oh,
The Metallica had a documentary, right?
Yeah, I never got into them.
You know, well, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was never into Metallica. I didn't know the movie, but what was the lead singer's name?
Yeah,
Who?
James Hetfield, right? Hetfield.
He was the lead singer. Who else? Who was the leader of the band?
Lars.
Yeah, Lars was getting into it with a lot of them and everything. Did you see that documentary? Yeah.
He brought down Napster. That's how I know Lars.
He what?
He brought down Napster.
Okay, we're doing a show here, Renee. If you haven't, if you haven't noticed,
No, we're experimenting with everything. We actually
know.
want to have guests that nobody can see.
Yeah,
We want to be the first podcast.
to have guests that
It's
no one can
better
see.
that way.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
I'm here.
whenever I'm watching, I got to be honest, whenever I'm watching like the Today Show or something, and they start interacting with their crew,
Yeah.
they'll start going, that's our producer, everybody. Wait, what did you say? And they yell something out and I go, I love that. I love that shit, dude.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, those are the type of documentaries I like.
Maybe we should change the name of this to Behind the Scenes. VH Juan's
Oh, jeez.
Behind the Scenes.
Yes.
See?
You see what I got to put up
That's
with?
Renee, another producer.
VH1.
VH Juan's.
You and your puns, dude.
What's wrong with it?
It just
What is wrong with it?
you just annoy me with your puns.
They're
dude.
but they're it's not that they're horrible. It's that they're good. They make everybody cringe.
No, your puns are terrible. Your puns are terrible. No,
Well-
actually, you do come up with some good ones sometimes. They just annoy me.
Maybe that's why my nickname is Attila the Pun. Did you ever think about that?
What's your nickname?
Attila the Pun. Just slaying it with the puns.
All right.
Oh, look who's talking, Ruby Tuesdays. This guy, are you kidding
Hey,
me?
that's not a pun.
Isn't it?
No,
It's
that's
a play
not
on
a pun.
words. It's a
No, it's the actual name.
No, but you're using it.
I
and don't
just
you spell
changed
it
the
diff-
spelling
you
of it,
change
but
the
that's not a
spelling?
pun. The pun master doesn't even know what puns are.
I think
He doesn't-
technically,
Man, I
it's
am
a
pun with you.
Oh, I like it.
Somebody on IG said behind the scenes, like movies in Spanish.
Well, Johnny doesn't speak Spanish, so he
Yeah.
would have
Oh,
never.
that's right.
We got to
he
let
would-
him
he
know
would
I don't
never-
speak Spanish.
He'd never known that.
Portuguese. I forgot.
Yeah.
So
but
we're talking-
behind the scenes. I like the title though. That's a good title. Come on, got to give him props.
That was good. That
Behind the
was excellent.
scenes.
Behind the scenes. So here's one thing. We talked about this before. What's your favorite sitcom of all time
Oh God.
and why? Your favorite sitcom of all time and why?
man.
Or let's do this.
Damn, not of all time.
Top 5. Your top 5 sitcoms of all time. Because we just talked about how TV has changed so much dramatically and people watch TV differently now. I'm actually not opposed to the binge watching.
Binge watching.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me, it frees up more time than having to, because back in the day before there was DVRs,
You have to
before
wait
VCR,
and
you had
and-
to wait. It's like your show was coming on, and then if you missed the first 2 minutes, like what happened?
Yeah, I know. And
Can you rewind? Couldn't
Yeah,
rewind or do
couldn't-
anything like that. So TV is consumed differently than it used to be, but there's a lot of people that feel like art and entertainment. No, let me not say art and entertainment, but just television and movies aren't as good and creative as they used
as
to
they
be.
used to be.
And
But yet
there's a
there's
lot of
some-
reasons for that,
Yeah.
but there are some great shows.
There's some
like
great shows.
Breaking Bad to me, I mean, I know I talked about comedies, but if we start with dramas, The Wire,
I've never watched The Wire.
of course, because you're racist. The Wire.
Oh, it's has to deal with black people. Is that all it deals with?
Ask me that question again.
It deals with black people. I didn't watch it.
How could you not watch one of the greatest?
I know. I hear that all the time.
Series
Bobby Lee, I told
of
you.
all time.
Bobby was just like, you got to watch it.
What about Bobby go?
It'll change your life. But then again, Bobby says that about literally everything that he watches. He's so melodramatic.
Yeah, The Wire was one of my favorite shows.
I
of
loved
all
Mad
time.
Men. I told you how much I loved Mad Men.
Mad Men was cool, but shows that I felt like I had to watch.
And I didn't do Game of Thrones either, bro.
I watched every episode of the Game of Thrones. I enjoyed the series, but it wasn't
For
like
you,
it wasn't me. Like if I missed one, I missed an episode. I see it when I see it. I didn't have, but Breaking Bad for me, dude. I just love the original. I love originality, man. To me, that show was just so
groundbreaking.
It was just dope.
Its
to
own
think
thing.
of a
Pardon the
scientist-
pun. It was dope.
It was.
Pardon the pun. Because for some of you out there, dope used to mean drugs. I know most of you know it as a term, a phrase. It's a hip thing. Yo, that's dope, son. But it's actually not a good thing. And stay away from dope, everybody.
I gotta tell
Sometimes
you
I don't
guys.
even understand.
Stay
why
away
I do
from
a show.
dope.
David Lewis said
David Lou again.
What did David Lou say?
Mad Men had 0 black people. Is that why Johnny liked it?
Ah!
See, people,
Well,
you're starting to get exposed, dude. People know, man.
I said this before.
Johnny, am I your only black friend?
I gravitated.
You fucking paused. You paused.
No. Let me finish.
All these black comedians out
Let
here
me-
that you know.
let
you
me-
know, you do get weird when I'm around other black comedians.
I do?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you ignore me when you get around your black comedian friends.
I ignore you.
Hold on, let me address that. I had already talked about, Matt, how I have a tendency to gravitate towards shows I would not be cast in. I loved Mad Men, but I would watch it and go, I would never, ever be cast in this. And if I was
Unless you were like a waiter, a bus boy.
I'd be
or-
an elevator dude,
Yeah.
a bus boy, a cook.
Would you like to go to the 4th floor?
And I'd have to do that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, no. I'd be like, do I have to do it with the accent? They're like, it's 1962. You're doing it with the accent. Now, all right, Javier, let's do this again. Hey, what floor? ¿Qué quieres? When?
Yo, dude, if you...
I do.
if
I
you
like
weren't-
shows that I wouldn't be cast in. It's the weirdest thing. I don't
Dude,
know.
if you weren't 33% Mexican, that fucking impression that you do, it's so racist and funny. You just make them seem like they can barely put a sentence together. What floor?
Well, you notice sometimes
Yeah.
this happens. This happened when I was with my dad, and they interviewed somebody, the Latino that was the water came through, and my dad laughed just because in Spanish saying it, backwards works, that whole thing. But the guy was like, it's right here, and then it started coming with and then the raining was like coming. It was all backwards, you know what I mean? And even my dad started laughing. But he's like, he goes, I know this poor guy is, because he's trying to take his Spanish into English,
Yeah.
and it goes the other way
Well,
around.
like
in
we talked
Spanish.
about how my dad used to do the same thing.
Yeah, but they do seem to find Latinos that talk like that whenever the newscasters find them for some reason. I used to do a bit about it years and years and years ago, where
Isn't it funny when you see somebody doing, like we did some of those bits years ago, when you see somebody doing those bits today, it's like, yeah, man, why they always got to find the brother who just, it's like, okay, well, we heard this premise in 90.
But yours is worse because you always do more like the Speedy Gonzalez guy.
Yeah,
Yours like,
but
what is it you say? See.
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
I just do it to fuck with you, though.
Oh, is that what it
yeah,
is?
yeah.
Azazus.
All right, whatever. man.
Anyway.
So Breaking Bad was the show for me. Just the originality of taking
That
A
show
teacher-
was so that show was groundbreaking bad for you.
All
It was
right, man.
groundbreaking bad.
No.
Did
no.
anybody hear me? I'm just making
Yeah,
sure.
everybody.
And nobody's responding to
No
that?
one's
Groundbreaking
responding.
Brad? Okay.
No, yeah. But just the fact that just the premise, somebody who's a brilliant scientist
Yeah.
who ends up being a school teacher and has the ability to make the best meth that anybody has ever seen, and he needs to save his family. So you have this guy who's doing this evil thing for moral reasons, you know? And what was interesting about that show to me is they humanized this character and didn't necessarily make him seem like a bad guy because he was doing it to save his family and his handicapped son, so it made him sympathetic. But in movies or even in real life or in TV shows, you know, a lot of black people, I'm not condoning this, but a lot of black people or Latinos or whoever is selling drugs, they're doing it for the same reasons.
Oh, I see.
You know, they're out on the block selling dope, selling crack or whatever they're selling to feed their families, to whatever, but they're just looked at as bad human beings and bad people,
gangbangers,
and evil.
and,
they're evil people, and they're doing but it was cool to see Walter White's character evolve to the same thing that we've seen from the
and don't give away too
African-American.
much. You know, I haven't watched it all yet.
Don't give away too much to
Yeah,
a
don't
show
give
that's
it-
no longer on the air.
Yeah, I
Man,
mean-
don't tell me nothing else about Seinfeld, man.
Yeah.
I don't want you to ruin it for me.
Yeah. I mean, I keep hearing people. I walk by and I hear yada yada yada. I'm like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Keep
what
it
show-
down.
You know what show? Another show
I'm kidding.
Here's the thing.
He's like, you didn't watch Seinfeld?
No,
Anyway,
a real quick point about shows too, which is hard to say about your favorite shows because a lot of shows start off really, really, really good, and then they just go off the rails. Like they'll have to me, Dexter was a show that I
watched
loved.
all of that one. Yeah.
The first few, I can't remember. I have to go back and really think, but maybe like the first 4 seasons of Dexter was like, yo, another dope concept. A forensic expert is a serial killer. Like that's a brilliant idea because who would be better suited to get away with the crime?
Right.
They would know exactly how to get away with
Right.
it. So that was dope. Another show that I'm kind of feeling like it's not one of my favorite shows of all time, but Power, the show Power. I'm sure you don't watch it because it's starring mostly black people. Do you watch Power, Johnny?
Is it about music? Is it like Empire?
No,
Because I started to watch some Empire, but I didn't feel for it.
You chose the wrong show.
Oh, is that yeah? So I put those two like, aren't they similar? Is it? It's not about music. Power?
No, Power is
okay.
not about music.
Has nothing to do with the music industry.
It's about the drug dealer who's
Oh.
trying to go legit. And
Oh, that actually sounds interesting.
yeah, yeah, about a
Okay.
drug dealer who's trying to go legit. So that, but to me, with Power now, like the last 2 seasons felt like they're just trying to cram too much in with the storyline, and some of the shit just seems really unbelievable. And you're like,
Well, you know what's interesting?
Really?
Wasn't it funny that successful shows years in the back in the day
Yeah.
started slow
And
and
got
got better
better.
and better and better and better
Yeah.
as they went along.
that's how you. That's how you.
And I was going to say that, but when you're talking about Breaking Bad and the humanizing him, that was the same thing with The Sopranos, dude.
yeah,
Like he's a bad dude,
Yeah.
but yet much like The Godfather and some of those movies, you
I know people loved him. James Gandolfini, man.
James Gandolfini,
Yeah, he was great. Rest in peace.
I thought about a similar show called The Sombreros, but it's all. I can't finish a thought. It's the same thing. It's like a cartel family, but it's the Sombreros instead of the Sopranos.
Really,
Yeah,
the Sombreros. Mm-hmm. So what are they?
that's the last name, Sombrero.
David Lewis says, "Dude, I can't with Johnny."
Thank you, thank you,
First of all,
thank you.
And he also asked if you guys have seen The Boys or The Umbrella Academy.
I saw Umbrella Academy. I'm on the fence with the Umbrella Academy. Johnny has no idea what we're talking about. It's is it a Netflix show?
wait, The
Yeah.
Boys, isn't that the movie? Not the movie, The Boys.
No. What did he say?
It's an Amazon show.
Yes, Amazon. Yeah, about superheroes, like dysfunctional type superheroes.
World setting.
In the world, yeah.
Oh, that sounds interesting. That's The Boys?
Yeah.
That sounds like something
I think that's Umbrella
No,
Academy.
that's the boys. The Umbrella Academy's a different.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I saw the the Boys. Which one is Umbrella Academy? Is that when their
I know-
father died or something?
I just know on Netflix there's like a monkey on the.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen some people post that they really like that show.
So real quick. So all right, for me, let me just. We don't have to break them into sitcoms or whatever. Let's just break down some of our favorite shows.
yeah, and let's not even go like in an order. Or
in
anything.
an
Just
order.
things that we really
shows
like.
that to me are timeless that I love to watch is Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, that was good.
That show
Forgot about that show because I kind of fell off after like
it's such a
season
great
4 or
show.
5.
And I
or
did
something.
like Seinfeld. I wasn't.
I love Seinfeld, dude.
I really watched Seinfeld more when it became syndicated in the reruns after it was on. So as time went on, I really enjoyed the show.
oh, I love
Curb,
that show, dude.
Seinfeld, The Wire, Sopranos, Billions. No, I can't put Billions in that. Oh, I do like Billions. I was going to say Ray Donovan. Ray Donovan used to be really good too, and to me, it kind of slowly.
I only watched a few of that one. That one didn't. I didn't jump on that one.
And you know what's funny? No matter what show I watch,
It's funny how everybody has their own.
I pretty much do my binge watching or catch up on my TV like late Sunday night for some reason. Like that's usually when I'll sit down.
that's
and try to
that's a
watch.
good. You're not going to be able to do that because the football's coming up.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what I watch. Snowfall, I think, is a show to me that started off slow, that's getting better and better. It's another show that talks about, that's about the crack epidemic in the 80s, how that kind of started.
Oh, now see again.
And
That's an interesting
It's
topic.
a John Singleton produced, rest in peace, John Singleton, produced show.
Yeah.
And it's dope. I enjoy watching that show now. But The Wire is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Okay. So early on, Snowfall was a slow fall. That's for Levidu. Take that, Levidu.
David Liu.
Same thing. Anyway.
Jin Deed says, "Have Mindhunters? Have you seen that?"
Yeah, Mindhunters. I'm in. I
gotta go
I'm season 2 of Mindhunters.
Oh, you watched all of season 1?
I watched all of season 1.
Oh, so you're done with one.
yeah, I watched
Okay,
all. Of
yeah,
season
that's a great concept.
Let me tell you. Who asked me that question about Mindhunters?
Jin Deed?
Jin, the guy who played Charles Manson, was fantastic. It's because they interview. You know what the show's about. But dude, the person that they got to play Charles Manson,
Charles.
you would. To me, it was like watching Charles Manson. His energy in the interview, he did a great job. I'm curious to hear what
Jin,
what she thinks about that if she's still here.
she would probably say yes, Jindeed. Yes, Jindeed.
Dude. It's like,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come
Come
on,
on,
man.
man.
Come on. That's my thing.
I just heard that name
That
and I
was-
came up with yes, Jindeed.
Just
I mean, just
Jin-
like that.
Yeah,
There's a quality to that. Quit knocking it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to come up with really bad wordplay. All right? Takes some talent.
So, all right, in your experience, who are with comics that who are some of the best that that are good at
Wait, we just didn't we?
at puns? I'm just curious because you
at puns.
you won't let the puns go, so I just want to kind of address it so we can move on.
Comic wise?
Yeah, is Raj good at puns? Russell is good at them.
No, Russell's really good.
Russell is really good at puns.
Russell's really good. I'm trying to think of who.
J. Chris Newberg.
J. Chris Newberg.
J. Chris
Really
Newberg
good.
is good at puns.
He's really good. Quindale. Quindale
Oh, really?
comes up with good puns. Yep. And who else? There's somebody else out there that. Oh, dude, how could we forget?
Who?
Edwin San Juan.
Oh my God.
He's probably the top dog, dude.
Edwin San Juan. when it
Edwin
comes to-
San Juan.
And I'm not a pun fan. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm
Good.
around you guys who are Russell, you, J. Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edwin San Juan is really
Dude,
good.
Edwin, when we were in Dubai, and we were driving around, and he and I were just slinging puns around.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with Edwin, dude. That dude had puns around every corner.
David Liu said puns are the easiest, are the second easiest thing in the world to do. You try to make it seem like it's hard.
Really? So why isn't he? Why doesn't he do them then?
Because maybe they're too easy to
No.
do. That's why I don't do them. They're
but
not creative
like me,
enough.
That's like me saying, like, if there's something I can't do, I don't have that knack.
No, but he can do them.
He can.
Yeah, Dave can do puns. Throw some puns out, Dave, and let Chris read them. You're under
Okay.
pressure now.
All right.
All right, so we're done with the puns. But quickly, just tell me some of your favorite shows.
You know what? Let me start with the from a long time ago.
Okay.
So some of my first, he said, "Oh, no, you can't use say cheese nips." Steve Byrne used to use that in a set.
What? I don't get it.
Say cheese nips, because so Steve Byrne used to do this thing where he was like, I think this dude might have been racist because he's like, they were like with his family, and he's like,
Oh, say cheese.
yeah,
nips.
he was with his Asian family,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and the dude's like, hey, say cheese nips.
That's actually.
I mean,
funny.
David may not have known that.
Yeah,
but
David.
Anyway,
he didn't know that. I'm
yeah,
sure.
no.
You mentioned that it was from Edwin.
Oh, he
Oh,
did.
okay.
See,
You
I
didn't-
can't see it. I can't read.
You can't read.
All right. So
Oh,
let's-
he still gets me from Edwin. Still gets. Oh, so Edwin had probably said it before. I didn't even know.
Okay, maybe it was Edwin who was doing
Well,
that. Yeah, because
that makes sense because Edwin might have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, it sounds like
I
something
heard
Edwin
Steve
would
Byrne do
say.
it. Yeah. Okay, that was funny too, by the
Yeah.
way.
I like. I used to like when Edwin used to come out and go, "Hi, no, I'm high."
Because the audience would say hi.
Yeah, he'd go
That's
hi,
the-
and then
the
the
audience
go,
all, hey.
and then he go, "No, I'm high."
And I was just out in the sparking lot. See,
Yeah,
there's another one.
That's another one.
All right. Anyway,
So your shows.
Jeffersons.
I like the Jeffersons.
I loved the Jeffersons.
Yeah, I like the
dude.
Jeffersons a lot.
Um,
Because you know why I like the Jeffersons? Can I tell you why? All right, tell us why you like the Jeffersons. You just can't say you like the show. You have to tell us why. Also, why did Johnny Sanchez?
First of all, dude, that character is just so outrageous and hilarious. He was so funny, man. Everything about him, his movements, his cockiness. But I loved it because he was short.
okay,
And he had 7 businesses, 7 locations, one near you, Jefferson Cleaners.
Yeah.
He was slamming doors in the white dudes' faces and people that would come to the door. Dude, there was nothing better than him slamming the door in somebody's face and then walking.
Then you used to call him a
honky, and he
Yo,
was
dude.
calling all of them honky. I mean, I just remember as a kid going, this dude, like, and then his walk, and he was short. I don't know, man. He was almost inspiring in a weird way to me.
It's interesting that you say he's inspiring.
And in a penthouse, dude.
The thing that I loved, it's very simple. The reason why I love the Jeffersons is because I guess when I was watching TV, it went from good times to black people being poor and struggling and how we gonna eat.
Yep.
To George Jefferson,
Penthouse.
a penthouse apartment, black man,
Yeah.
business owner, didn't take shit from white people or nobody.
Yeah.
He
so good.
dude, his
He was
attitude, his swag,
yeah, the swag,
everything, yeah.
everything, man.
Yeah, he was.
And
It was a great. It was a
a-
great character, and it was one of those first characters, kind of what the Cosby Show did later.
Yeah.
For
Correct.
a lot of black people.
Correct.
Especially in the area I grew up into, was to kind of show black people in a different light, in a positive light, to kind of shows like, no, we care about our families. Not all of us are on welfare. I mean, they're professional, like, Cliff and Claire. You know what I mean? Professionals. It was.
Well,
the kids.
Also,
it was
how
just-
smart was it that he had the Willises be a mixed couple, dude? He could have Norman Lear could have gone with 2 white people,
Yeah.
that were coming over, and all hoity-toity.
Yeah, but a mixed couple back
mixed
then
back
was
then,
just-
dude,
yeah.
was genius.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah.
And it opened up all the jokes.
Yeah.
For small-minded George Jefferson.
Yes.
And where's your son, the zebra?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude. And he would make fun of Tom and call him honky in front of his wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then you had Mr. Bentley, who was British, coming over. And then they bring in, Florence was not in the, first season or 2. They brought her in.
Yeah.
And then it just shot it even,
Yeah.
dude, laughs per minute on that show.
How about All in the Family?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved
Now,
it. But But I mean, even to this day, even when I look back on things, it was kind of like, I think if there was only, I don't want to use the word weak link or anything, but Gloria for me was sort of, although it was funny with Meathead and Archie was great. But
Yeah, they were
sometimes
great.
they go off on like their relationship a little bit, and that was okay.
What was
but-
the actor's name who played Meathead?
Yeah,
he
he
went
was
on to be a
yes,
big
Reiner.
director. Yeah,
Reiner,
Carl
dude,
Reiner.
Rob
Reiner.
Which again, it was he had a great character, especially when it was he and Archie going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the Gloria and the relationship, sometimes I've always felt like it kind of lacked a little
Yeah.
bit. But that show was fantastic. But dude, this is gonna sound crazy, but this is a show that always made me laugh. To this day, when I see a rerun, it's basic, it's simple, same premise almost every time. Three's Company.
Yeah.
Loved Three. Dude,
That
I can
was- that
watch
was a
Three's
good
Company again, and there was just something about with Mr. Roper, and he had to play gay.
Yeah.
And they were and John Ritter, man, because he was a stuntman first. The reason why he did all those pratfalls and his timing, people don't understand.
His
man.
timing was
when you got a swinging door and you got to walk in and out, you almost get hit in your head, and then you fall on the couch and roll.
Yeah.
People don't understand. It's hard enough remembering your dialogue and your lines, let alone hitting your mark.
Yeah.
This dude would fall over a couch.
Yeah.
And always was within I'm sure
camera,
all of
yeah.
his marks, dude.
Yeah.
Like he was
the
incredible.
rehearsals must have been bananas.
dude.
The rehearsals must have been
Yeah.
bananas.
Okay,
it ended.
Here's another one. This show, I absolutely love this show. Oh,
Do I want to save this so people can watch later or no? No, I'm not going to save it.
I mean, that's up to you.
You could save it because it only lasts for like a day or
24
so.
hours?
Yeah,
you want to save it and just see how it comes out?
but it's fine.
Yeah, I can always delete it later if I want to delete it. So yeah, all right, we'll do that.
Oh, because it goes 1 hour. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it cuts off at 1 hour.
That went quick.
So yeah, I just think.
Oh,
go
here's
ahead.
my
Yeah.
other. Okay, and what I loved about that show, when they were on the beach, dude. When you're growing up in Tulare, California,
Oh yeah,
and somebody's living in Santa Monica.
used
Remember the opening? Wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
Dude, when they used to
And
go to the Regal Beagle, man.
dude, the Regal. That in
just think of
itself.
that as a title. I'll put this down.
And-
as a title, of a place to go. Let's go to the Regal Beagle.
It's so I love, and people have. I don't know if people have ever asked you if you opened up if you had a restaurant or a bar or whatever. One of them that I always say is Regal Beagle. I would call a bar. I would spell it different, but I would probably reverse it and make the Regal look like a beagle, and then the Beagle look
I
like a
never
Regal.
thought of Three's Company. I mean, it's a
Dude,
show that
It's the same thing though. Overhearing somebody
Yeah.
and they take that it's a sexual. It's
Yeah,
the same.
exactly
But
the
it came
same.
from the British show. Was it Was it Faulty Towers? No. What was it? What,
I can't remember.
but it was
Yeah.
already from there. So it's silly. They never got critics hated them, but they were huge success at the top for a long time, and I just thought the dynamic of all of them. This is especially when Suzanne Summers was on. You know what I mean? But and Mr. Roper was absolutely hilarious.
He was great. Which Mr. Roper?
No, Mr. Roper, Norman Fell.
Okay.
What's his name? That was Mr. Furley.
Furley. Yeah,
they
Mr.
switched.
Furley.
They
That's
actually
right.
switched the
Switched
whole
the-
character.
yeah,
But
yeah,
dude,
that's right.
Larry coming over. Larry,
Yeah.
the single
Yeah.
neighbor, and they were in Santa Monica. And I remember I just wanted to be there. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
loved that apartment. I loved everything about what they were doing.
Yeah, I did like the show, but I didn't love
You didn't
the
love
show.
it. Okay, so here's my other one. I think you're going to, you probably agree with me on this one.
Okay.
One of my favorites of all time, Taxi. What?
Here's the thing.
Taxi?
I never really watched it.
Dude,
You
Danny
gotta understand.
DeVito.
And this is gonna sound crazy.
Oh, you
This
could
might-
because
this-
your household.
it's gonna sound. There was just a time, and I do feel like this sometimes now, where I get tired of watching people who don't look like me.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll be watching TV even though, because you got to understand, when these shows were on, I was really young. So when you're watching this, like, man, I can't relate to any of this shit. So I missed out, and I think sometimes we miss out on enjoying good shows, good movies, just because, you know, as a person in this country, you know, when everybody looks like everybody else and you're dealing with the shit that it's like, I don't want to watch
But
that
you know
shit.
what's weird, dude? I never went through that, and I think I have to.
Because you're from a small city,
a small town,
you know?
but also. I think there was one. He said, no black people in Three's Company or Taxi.
Yeah.
There was one black dude at Taxi.
There is a
Taxi.
reoccurring theme here, dude. You tend to like shows with no black people.
And now Taxi, I would have been cast. I might have been cast in that because here's the thing.
Yeah, you could play Danny DeVito's character.
See, so here was the thing, and I think this was from my dad. I have to kind of give him credit because he liked everybody and everything, man, and he wouldn't really go, well, how come there's not a Mexican on this show? And how come there's not a Mexican doing this? And I think there was something instilled because let me put it this way, dude. All of us wanted to be the $6 million man.
Of course.
The Bionic Man.
Yeah.
I didn't care whether he was white or not,
But
or
let
I
me-
looked like him or not. Those things just didn't seep into me. I will say this much, though. One of the reasons why I liked Taxi was the mix of everybody. Danny DeVito to me, Louis De Palma, dude, to me, when I was young, I was kind of like, maybe he could be Mexican. Like, I didn't realize he's Italian. He's supposed to be Italian from New York, but.
Well, let me make this clear. To your point, I did not watch those shows. I didn't consciously think like, oh, there's no black people in here.
Oh, I see.
I'm not going to watch this. I just think as a kid, I probably looked at it and going, and just subconsciously not seeing any black people, just thinking I wouldn't be able to relate to it because Taxi wasn't like your normal sitcom when it came on at that time. You know what I mean? Man. So it looked
in the garage.
Yeah, it was just like different, and I just didn't find. This is just a show I never got into it. Like I would probably enjoy it watching it now, and I don't want people to think that I saw these shows and man, I ain't no black people in this. I ain't watching shit because I wouldn't watch any TV if that was the case.
Well, right, and
You know?
and I would have watched nothing
Exactly. So
because there
it
was no
wasn't that.
Mexicans on any sitcoms.
I just think with certain shows,
There's still
like
not.
I'm looking at it as an adult now. I think part of it is I probably looked at things and thought, okay, I can't relate to this.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's probably why I didn't.
I can tell you the moment that I was hooked on Taxi.
Okay.
I don't know if I was flipping the channel. I don't know if my mom and dad put it on. I don't remember that. I feel like I was watching it. I might have been flipping the channels on my own. And Danny DeVito's character is up in that cage. You know, he would always call everybody's name. You know, Riga, Nato. And he would yell at everybody. And I remember I was just thinking he was so funny. And then I think it was Alex Rieger's character was like, no, I'm not whatever it was. I'm not doing it. What are you talking about? No, I'm not going to do it, Louis. I'm not doing it. And he goes, what? And he runs out, dude. And he's only this tall. I couldn't tell that when he was up in his cage because he was up above everybody. And he came down, dude, down the little stairs, and he's this dude that's what is he, 4'8", 4'11"? He's not even 5
He's
feet.
had a great career, man.
Unbelievable career. And he stands there, dude, and I remember I thought that was the funniest thing. I go, oh my God, this guy, I mean, it wasn't not a midget, but not.
So you really related to him being a short guy.
And I think that's another case of like he's this little dude going, no, you're going to do it, Riga.
Yeah.
And he was mean and he was in your face
So
or in your kneecaps.
So you're a combination between Danny DeVito and Sherman
George
Hemsley.
Jefferson. No, we got to keep it with the characters'
names. So it's George
Louis De Palma
and George Jefferson.
and George Jefferson.
'Cause you're
Jefferson
just-
Cleaners, 7 locations,
You're-
one near you.
Yeah, you're just like them. Like
Thank you.
you're bossy, attitude.
Appreciate it.
You know, always has something to say.
Oh, touche.
Yeah, very
Touche.
nitpicky about things.
good.
Yeah, that's
All right.
that's
So
that's you, man.
okay.
You're
Yeah.
yeah. You're,
Okay.
right.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Perfect. We'll pick him apart next time. What we got?
Danny DeVito was 4'10".
Oh, I said 4'11".
Yeah, you're close.
Ruben thought he was 4'12". And I said, Ruben, that's 5 feet.
See how mean he is to me?
Oh, here we got Mr. Ruben Paul. Get a load of Ruben's balls. Bell palsy. Ruben
really?
Bell Paul. Ruben Bell
Could you imagine if
Paul.
I had it? It's like coming to stage, Ruben Bell Paul.
See how I wrapped that all up, everybody?
How's everybody doing?
How about I wrap that up from the very beginning? Boom. And you're making fun of me.
That was
But
good.
yet I wrapped up Ruben Bell Paul off of Bell
Johnny,
Palsy.
you should start giving yourself a little bit more credit. you never give yourself enough credit.
You know what? I should just do a podcast. It's all
Giving
me.
yourself credit. Look at how you grabbed the microphone. Yeah, where it's just all me.
You know, like Despicable Me, but it'll be like Deliciously Me. Oh, Hey, we're talking, guys, after this one. I might have to do my own. I'll still do this one,
Deliciously.
but Deliciously Me. How do I do it?
You drive people crazy.
How do I
man.
do it, man? I don't know where it comes from.
Anyway.
Oh, and my last one, sitcom-wise.
Okay.
Also Cheers. Loved Cheers.
Yeah, I like Cheers.
And I like Seinfeld. I thought Seinfeld was great, man.
But for me, I think, those shows being off the air for a while and you think back, it's kind of cool because you have to really think what shows do you think still holds the test of time? Like if it came on, if it was on a rerun and, you turn the TV on, would you sit and watch it? That's kind of how I distinguish whether I really like a show. Like, if it's not in syndication, at least I don't think. But if Breaking Bad was on and if I had it on, I was cleaning up, I would stop and watch an episode.
Okay,
The Jeffersons, I would watch.
Oh God, dude! I told you, man.
The Wire, I would watch. There's just certain scenes, man, certain seasons. That
Oh
are just so
shit! How could
dope.
I forget?
What?
Oh my God! I almost feel that like. This is blasphemy, the fact that I didn't even throw out Sanford and Son early.
Oh my!
What are we talking
Dude,
about?
Sanford
and Sons. Woo!
And here's the thing: probably when we were watching it,
Oh my God!
it was already in syndication when we were watching it. You know what I mean? When did they do? Because I remember watching it.
No,
when,
it was 74 to. It ran 74, 75 to 79, 80. 81?
Yeah,
Something
so
like that.
when I started watching it,
you were watching it syndication. I was
Yeah.
watching it as it was airing.
oh wow,
Because my parents put it on.
great show, dude. Sanford and Son is one of my favorite.
One,
shows.
it is just, it's such a funny show. But anyway, this also shows how diverse I was and how open-minded I was when I was younger.
Okay.
Get this, I used to
when you were younger.
when I was young. Yeah, then I noticed
Then
that
you grew up.
I stopped watching shows with black people once you and I started touring together.
Wow,
Ruben Bell Paul. Anyway,
Wow. But you know what we
here's all diverse. Real quick.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
watched Alf. Okay, I watched an Alien, my friend.
I tried to watch Alf. I couldn't.
I got it.
get
I
into
liked it. I thought Alf was great. His jokes were funny, man.
What was that show with the Third Rock from this?
Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
that was good too because they were.
I never
aliens.
really watched it, but I knew it was
they were
really
aliens.
popular.
Yeah, it was it was a
yeah.
great concept.
I just full disclosure. Like I said, when I was younger, I did not watch some shows because there were no black people. But I did as I got older and was in high school. I did go through that
Sure.
phase.
That
of, man,
phase.
I
How about
ain't
the
watching that.
dinosaurs? The dinosaur family.
The
Remember?
Dinosaur Family.
What was that? What was it? Dinosaurs. It's called. Hey, guess what I just found out? You know their last name was Sinclair. Yes. Okay, you know what that's from?
I never even heard of the show.
You know the the petrol gas station. They have a dinosaur on there. They named him Sinclair because they became fossil fuel later on.
really?
Somebody just
So
posted.
what was the dinosaurs?
It was just huh?
What
They were dressed in dinosaur outfits.
What channel did it come on?
Fox.
It was an ABC show.
ABC.
It was a sitcom.
Dude, it was funny. The show was actually funny, and once you
How
got
many
away,
seasons was it on the air? I've never even heard
like
of this
2 or
show.
3, right? Let me
Really,
see.
I've never heard of that show.
Is it called Dinosaurs? I can't find it on IMDb. Oh, that's why. That's
What?
why I spelled it wrong.
91 to 94.
3 seasons. 4 seasons. That's 4 seasons because you got to count the one.
Never
Look,
heard of that show.
4 seasons.
Oh, I remember seeing that. I just never watched that's not something I would watch.
Dude, it was the writing was well done.
Really?
That's what's crazy about this show. It was actually a good show. See, motherfucker, I watched Aliens and Dinosaurs. Son, I guess somebody
Dude,
else
I'm
we
glad
know
you
is,
said that
is,
because
is
I thought you were going to
prejudiced.
say, man, I watched dinosaurs, aliens, and black people. That's
Well,
what I thought
that
you were going
too.
to say. All right.
All right.
So you know what we should we'll do on a later episode is talk about how much. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Talk about how much television is changed in.
Yeah, we need to do the follow. We did.
Yeah,
well, you
how
did.
television has
You did
changed
a lot of
and-
your current ones, didn't
Yeah,
you?
a lot of
But-
current shows, but we'll go to.
Yeah,
I-
this
it
went
would-
fast, man. Oh, geez, I didn't know it was with that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Hey, go! Don't forget this. Oh, wait.
What,
Anyway, go Raiders
Yeah, when this
tonight.
aired, tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah,
Denvier
against the donkeys.
motherfucking donkeys.
Against the donkeys.
Up in this motherfucker.
Really?
Look at this shirt. Ruben gave me the shirt. ACDC Raiders.
Yes, sir. Because he loves
'Cause-
AC/DC.
And their best song, the Raider ACDC.
Yeah.
Back in Silver and Black.
All right.
I'm gonna end on that great pun.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening as always.
Thanks, Lavid Du, for
Really?
chiming in.
You're just mad because he went at you for your puns, but you are good at them. So you got that. You got that. I mean, Edwin and Russell are better, but you're still good.
Oh well, when I do my show, I better not give out the name because somebody will probably take it.
Oh.
But it's gonna be it's just all pun competition. I'm gonna host it.
Oh my God.
So
What's-
I wish I could tell you the name, but
You can't tell me the name?
I'll tell you when we get off air
Okay.
how good it is.
Okay.
That's how good it is.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
I got two of them. They're so good.
Okay, Jesus. You got two?
Oh, we'll do it. The
All right.
promo.
So thank you guys for listening once again. You can hear the podcast on iTunes,
Spotify,
Google Play,
YouTube.
and anywhere else you can get podcasts. So thank you guys for listening. Ruby Tuesdays tomorrow. Fantastic show. Always a great lineup. Come through 9:30 Hollywood Laugh Factory. I'll be there. Johnny will be there. We out.
Ruby motherfucking Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.